Thanks, Kevin. So I'm going to walk you through a quick tour of what it's like to develop an app on the App Engine SDK for Java. And in the spirit of our birthday and our demo last year, I'm going to do that in the context of a very simple guestbook application. So this application, if you were here last year, you remember we simply enter in a post. We'll just say hello Campfire 1. And this is going to, it's a simple HTML form. It's going to post to a servlet, save that to the data store, redirect back, and then list out the entries in the data store. So I'm going to walk you through what it's like to develop that app. So first I'm going to go over to Eclipse. Now this is a popular open source IDE with Java developers, so it probably looks familiar to many of you. We've got the standard Java perspective here, but you'll notice the icons in the top left. As Kevin mentioned, we provided support for Google Web Toolkit and for App Engine, so it's going to make tasks like project creation and deployment to App Engine a lot easier. Now I'm going to create a new project by clicking on the blue icon, top left. That brings up the new project wizard, and I'm going to enter in a project name and a package. So I'm going to call it guestbook, and I'll enter the same package. Now I could use Google Web Toolkit or App Engine, and this is going to configure my starter project. I'm not going to use any Ajax for this very simple demo, so I'm just going to uncheck that, and I'll click Finish. This has now created the starter project, and it's a standard J2EE servlet project. This project right now I could go run it on another servlet container. Now, if we look inside, you'll see a source directory. As you'd expect, that's where our Java files go. Our App Engine SDK and the JRE on my machine, and then a web archive or WAR directory. So App Engine uses the standard Java web archive layout as its deployment directory. You're going to put all your JSPs, your static files, your class files into this directory, and that's what's going to get deployed up to App Engine. Now if we look inside this servlet that's created for me, you'll see a very simple standard servlet, takes an HTTP request and prints out hello world. So now I've got the project here and I want to get started. Well, if you've ever had a great idea for a project and you wanted to go ahead and start developing something, and then you spend a day trying to set up a local server, you're probably going to be happy with the App Engine SDK. App Engine ships with a local development server with the SDK, so you simply download it and you can get started right away. So what I do is right-click on my project. I'll go to Debug As, Web Application. This is going to start up the local server. It mimics the production environment. So any restrictions we have on Java classes in the production environment are also going to be reflected in the local server. So now I'm started on localhost 8080. So if I go over and let's open up a new tab. And I'll go to that servlet URL. And I get hello world, as we'd expect. So now I can go and I can start iterating here and continue with the theme. I could say Campfire 1, save my changes, and I'll see my changes reflected. So I've got the basis for the project, the foundation there, and I want to start layering on this, this guestbook application. Let me take you through what the architecture, if you can call 3 files an architecture, looks like. So if we can bring up the architecture. So I have this is very complicated. If you get lost, just let me know. I have a guestbook JSP that's going to post to a servlet. That servlet creates this entry.java object. It's going to save that to our data store, redirect back to our JSP. The JSP is then going to query the data store for the list of entries we have and display that on the page. Now, in order not to bore you and save time, I've written a lot of the post logic and the JSP logic, and I'm going to drag those into the project now. Well, gotta find my mouse here. So let me do that. Just go ahead and turn that off. So I'm going to drag the Java files into my source directory. And we'll overwrite the existing servlet. I'll drag the guestbook JSP into my web archive directory. And now, as Kevin mentioned, we're using standards, standard web XML as a configuration file. And since I just drug in this guestbook JSP, I don't want people to have to remember that JSP. So I'm going to go into the web XML. You notice it's in that web-inf directory. And I'll just change the welcome file to be guestbook. Save that there. And so now let's go ahead and try to run this locally. Make sure that I did bring in all the files I meant to. So I should just be able to go to that URL. And so now I've got the JSP there. So the next thing I want to do is actually save to the data store. Now, as Kevin mentioned, App Engine is built on top of Bigtable, which is a distributed storage platform that's scalable. It's what we use here at Google. In addition to the low-level APIs that talk to Bigtable, we've also implemented standards-based APIs in the form of Java Data Objects and Java Persistence API. So JDO and JPA, if you've ever used them before, allow you to persist standard Java objects to a data store. And they're data store agnostic, so that means they work with SQL databases, they work with file systems, XML, or in our case, the App Engine data store. And what that means is that I could take code that I've written for JDO or JPA, and I could run it on another system, say a system that uses SQL as a backend. Now in this case, I'm going to use JDO, and I want to persist the entry Java class to my data store. So if I look inside this class, you'll see that I have some fields that store content and who's posting, just a very simple constructor, and then some getters and setters. In order to store this, what I need to do is annotate it with JDO annotation. So I'll do that. First thing I want to do is add an annotation that tells the data store that this class can actually be persisted. And then I want to specify its application level. Next thing I want to do is specify which fields I want to store. And I'll do that for all the fields. And then lastly, every object in JDO needs a primary key, so I want to set that. I'll set it on the ID up here. And then I want the data store to generate that ID for me as well. So now I have all the annotations I need to store this object to the data store. The next thing I want to do is I want to go to the servlet and actually store that. So we'll go take a look there. So here's the servlet. You can see that I'm getting the post parameters, then creating that entry object. And the next thing I want to do is save it to the data store. Now JDO uses something called a persistence manager to interact with the data store. And it uses a factory pattern with a persistence manager factory to get that persistence manager. It's analogous to a database connection pool, and there's a little bit of overhead associated with it. So we want to be efficient and use a singleton instance. And I've actually done that code as well, and I'm going to drag that in. If we look inside, you can see just getting that persistence manager factory. So now I'll go back here, and I'll get a persistence manager from that. Next thing I want to do is I want to persist the object by calling make persistent. And then finally close out the connection. So this is going to save the object to the data store, and then you can see that we're redirecting back to guestbook. So let's go to guestbook and now list out the entries, or guestbook JSP. So you can see standard JSP file. I'll go down to the bottom here. And you can see I have a list of entries. And because I'm a clumsy typer, I took the easy way out, and I've commented the code. So I'm just going to walk you through that. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a persistence manager again to interact with the data store. Next thing I'll do is I'll create a query, very similar to SQL with the syntax. So I say select from. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. I say select from, I specify which objects, and then I specify any filtering or ordering criteria. And then the last thing I'm going to do is populate that list by executing the query. So that should be our database code. Let's go ahead and try to run this. So running again on localhost 8080. We'll refresh for good measure. Oops. So now the JSP posted to the servlet, created that entry object, saved it to the data store, and listed it out. A killer app for sure. So now I want to share it with the world so that all my friends can see. Now the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to go back to Eclipse and deploy it out to App Engine. So first thing I'll do is go back here, and you'll see there's a little App Engine icon in the top left. I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice there's an error here right now. It's because I haven't set an application ID for this. Every app on App Engine needs an application ID, a unique application ID. So let me go to my project settings, and then I'll go over to the App Engine console and actually set that. So I'm going to create a new application ID, and we'll call it Campfire Guestbook. And if you're trying to beat me to it, that would be a way to trip me up. Please don't. OK, so we registered that ID successfully. So I'm going to go back and set that. All I have to do now is enter in my username and password. And then I click Deploy. And that's it. So the SDK is compiling my Java source code, packaging everything up, and sending it up to the server. So now it says it's deployed successfully. So I can go over here. And I now have an application on the web. And we'll just make sure it works. So if you ever had an idea for an application and you wanted to actually go and implement it, and you only had a weekend, and you were probably thwarted because you took a week to get it out, this is a solution I think you're going to be really happy with. I've just created a whole Java application, albeit very simple, and deployed it to the web in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes. Not only that, we also were using standard APIs and Java standard APIs for the data store and for the other APIs, so I could take that code and I could also run it on any other server as well. Thanks. Hand it back to you, Kevin.